Hi there, how's it going? I'm Robert from MasterGuitarAcademy.com. Today I have a tip for you. And it's not about juggling, because I'm not that great at juggling. No, instead, I want to talk about strengthening your arm. You know, when it comes to playing things like playing things like that involves a lot of legato, a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. And in order to do that, you need to have a strong forearm. This part, the muscle that goes from about here up to your elbow, that's the one that you need to work on. So, of course, one of the best ways is to play a lot. You know, do exercises like, in this case, I'm on the B string. And I'm playing 5th and 3rd and open. 5th fret, 3rd fret and open on the B string. But I'm only picking the first note. And then you can play through the pentatonic scale on all strings like that. You can then drop the pick or just not use it and just play. The same approach here. I'm just now do hammer-ons. I'm starting with a hammer-on from nowhere, and then I do a pull off down to 3rd fret and then down to open. And you can do different patterns. And of course use different fingers. You go up to 8th fret and 5th fret. Then I'm using my pinky. Well, the point is to play accurately, so there's no sloppiness, no extra strings ringing. You know, things like that. So focus on playing nice and clean, do it slowly. And you'll find that the faster you go, the harder it is to play really cleanly. And there is going to be a limit to how fast you can go before you get stuck and start making mistakes. And your, in this case, the pattern will sort of stop working after a while. So, of course, that's great to do, but there's another thing you can do besides just playing these type of things. So, what I'm saying here is practice legato things. Any play through scales just using. Which is going to be hard when you get to the low string because of the stretch. But use the pentatonic. And the more distortion you have, it's easier it's going to be to do the to get a note ringing. Anyway, that's great to do. But what I've started talking about here are the juggling balls. So what's the point with these? Well, you're not going to be juggling to make your muscle here stronger. But what I have found, for me, it works really well to use one of these juggling balls. Now, it doesn't have to be a juggling ball. It doesn't have to be this kind. These came from a set of juggling balls that, you know, like one of these learn how to juggle packages. Came with 3 juggling balls, and these are nice. They have some kind of beans inside, so think of it as like a bean bag, but it's round. And the size, for me, is perfect. So what I do is I take one of these, and if I'm watching TV or just sitting on the front porch doing nothing, and I am not playing guitar, this is a good alternative or a combination for strengthening this muscle. So you just squeeze it. You can now squeeze it in different ways. Since this fits really well in the size of my hand, I usually don't use all fingers to squeeze it, but I can do that if I want to just strengthen as a wider area of the muscle. But often I then take just one finger, I'm holding it like this, taking one finger and pushing repeatedly. It's like going to the gym. You do a few repeats. You do a few repeats for each finger. You can do 2 fingers at a time. There's all sorts of combinations you can do, but you'll feel that this muscle tightens and you get a little workout in it. And you can stop when you get tired and go to the next arm. It's also good to work on your picking arm, the muscle here. Not that you're not going to get the same stress on that muscle and compared to your fretting hand, but it still is good to have a balance between the muscles in both arms. So for the left one, my pinky is my weakest finger, and I think that's the case for the most people. So that one definitely needs a little bit of work, and you have to be careful not to overdo these types of things, because you can end up with some inflammation and pain that can last a long time. So just do this gradually. Get into a habit of working out with your fingers like this. Now make sure you don't overdo this. It's not a good idea to sit half an hour or longer. So I recommend just a few minutes at a time. And my favorite way of using the ball is to use 3 fingers at a time and sort of simulate the feeling you have when you're playing the guitar. So you're pushing down with 3 fingers at a time. So it's either these 3 or these 3. And you can work with the thumb where you place it. You can feel the muscle being worked on here as you do this. So remember, just a few minutes at a time, and then take a break. Switch to the next hand. And do this daily. And you can do it anywhere, on a trip. Put this in your backpack or in your gear when you go on a trip or even out for a walk. Who knows? Whatever you want. And it doesn't have to be, as I said, it doesn't have to be a juggling ball just like this, but it could be some kind of foam ball. It has to be fairly sturdy and resistant. So if it's too soft, you just squeeze right through it and it won't be much of a workout. So something like with beans inside, or some sort of grains, could be oatmeal in here, who knows. And see what you can find. Find the right size. Even a rubber one might work if it's not too dense and too hard to push in with your fingers. So work on 2 fingers at a time, all fingers, one by one. And you can also play with the placement of the ball in your hand. If you have it right in the middle like that, it gives you a different focus on the muscle compared to if you hold it closer to the top tip of your fingers when you're pressing down. Okay? So that's my little secret trick on getting a stronger forearm. And it's this side of the arm that we're talking about. This, because I find that is really the weakness for me when I'm playing and I'm working on legato things, which I like to do. Because I can feel it right away that I get tired, and it limits I like to be able to do all these flashy things with my left hand, but often the limitation is I get tired too quickly in this muscle, and I start making mistakes because my coordination suffers because I don't have enough strength in this muscle. It's not because I don't know where to put the fingers. It's because I make mistakes because the fingers don't obey my little pea brain, because my muscles aren't strong enough. So there you go. Combine the type of exercise with a ball like that, and and work on legato techniques, playing two notes. Trills like that. They're called trills when you go really fast between two notes. And the more distortion you have, or more dynamic tone, the easier it is. If it's really kind of clean and not enough treble, like round, jazzy tone, it can be hard to get enough volume out of these hammer-ons and pull-offs. Because it's hard to hammer on as hard with your left hand's fingers as you do with the pick, or when you're plucking the string with right hand. Compared to. So those are great exercises. All right, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and come over at masterguitaracademy.com and check out my cool lessons that I have there. I have quite a few downloads and DVDs, and you can join my site there as a member and check out all the goodies I have inside. So cheers for now.